Welcome back to the days where each moment in Salem promises fresh chaos, shocking secrets, and twisted alliances. Today, we're diving into the explosive developments happening on Tuesday, July 29th. From scandalous courtroom drama to secret authorships and family betrayals. This episode is a whirlwind of deceit, loyalty, and desire. Stephanie's scandalous secret rocks Salem. Stephanie Johnson, played with confidence and charm by Abigail Klein, has just completed her latest masterpiece. A steamy, sultry novel so electrifying that even the most disciplined readers are struggling to put it down. Behind closed doors, publishing moguls are buzzing with excitement, and no one is more eager to capitalize on the literary firestorm than Alex Kyriakis, Robert Scott Wilson. The smooth-talking executive is desperate to fast-track its publication, knowing it could become the next bestseller, and maybe even the most provocative book Salem has ever seen. But there's one complication. Stephanie has sworn to keep her identity under wraps. She doesn't want anyone knowing she's the genius behind the erotic fiction that's turning heads across town. Whether it's to protect her professional image or avoid family embarrassment, her reasons remain her own. Yet secrecy in Salem never lasts long. Enter Detective Jada Hunter, Elia Cantu, whose sharp intuition and witty teasing quickly unravel Stephanie's carefully laid disguise. Over coffee and playful banter, Jada presses Stephanie, hinting that she's already guessed the truth. While Jada isn't planning to reveal Stephanie's secret, the tension between the two women adds a crackling dynamic to an already spicy plot. Behind the flirtation and smirks lies something deeper, Jada's admiration. She's genuinely impressed with Stephanie's work and even confesses that she stayed up all night reading it. But if Jada knows, how long before the rest of Salem figures it out? Johnny's day in court. A trial unlike any other. The courtroom is packed. The air is thick with tension as Johnny DiMera, Carson Boatman, prepares to stand trial for a crime that many believe he didn't commit. The attempted murder of his own father, E.J. DiMera, Dan Feuerriegel. Despite Susan Banks, Stacey Hayduk, firm belief that Johnny is innocent, the court has refused to drop the charges. Logic has no place here. In Salem, drama always takes precedence over justice. Johnny sits silently, absorbing every accusation thrown his way. But he's not entirely alone. In a baffling twist that only Salem could dream up, his defense attorney is none other than E.J. himself, the very man he's accused of shooting. That's right. The alleged victim is now defending his alleged assailant. Talk about conflict of interest. As if that weren't twisted enough, the prosecution is led by none other than Belle Black, Martha Madison, Johnny's aunt, and E.J.'s current lover. What should be an impartial courtroom has become a dysfunctional family reunion masquerading as a legal proceeding. The lines between personal and professional are so blurred they've practically disappeared. Then there's Leo Stark, Greg Rickhart, seated smugly among the jurors. His checkered past and talent for manipulation make him an unpredictable wild card. Leo, who once blackmailed Will Horton, Chandler Massey, and Sonny Kyriakis, Freddie Smith, is now expected to help decide Johnny's fate. Neither Belle nor E.J. seem to bat an eye at Leo's inclusion, suggesting there may be ulterior motives at play, or simply a blind spot fueled by arrogance and desire. The courtroom crackles with every objection and whispered side glance. And beneath the formalities lies a deeper question. Is justice even possible in Salem when family, lovers, and enemies are all tangled together in one toxic web? Kate's compromise. A family conspiracy rekindled meanwhile. Across town, a mother and son bond over treachery. Kate Roberts, Lauren Koslow, Salem's eternal matriarch of mischief, has just uncovered a dark truth. Her son Philip Kyriakis, John Paul Lavoisier, and the always scheming Vivian Alamain, Louise Sorrell, have forged a version of Victor Kyriakis's John Aniston will. The forgery would hand the family empire directly to Philip. Kate's reaction? A shrug and a smirk. She's not only unbothered, she's impressed. After all, what's a little legal manipulation between family members? To Kate, this isn't just another scheme. It's a throwback to better times. Times when she and Philip worked side by side, deceiving adversaries and playing power games like pros. The thrill is intoxicating. But of course, no scheme in Salem goes unnoticed for long. Enter Xander Cook, Paul Telfer, ever the brute with a heart buried under layers of anger. When he discovers the forgery, his response is violent. He lashes out at Philip, giving him a brutal beatdown and threatening to expose everything. For Kate, this is just more evidence of Xander's unworthiness. To her, he's a thug, a wild card, and a threat to everything she's trying to protect. But perhaps what cuts deepest is how much she enjoys the conspiracy. It reminds her that, at her core, she's not just a businesswoman or a mother. She's a survivor. And surviving in Salem often means bending the rules until they break. Lines are blurring, loyalties are shifting. What makes this episode so captivating isn't just the storylines themselves. It's how they overlap and combust. Stephanie is navigating newfound fame and personal vulnerability. Johnny is fighting for his freedom in a courtroom rigged with family politics and sexual entanglements. Kate is embracing her darker instincts once more, showing us all that power and family in Salem are hopelessly and dangerously intertwined. Even the side players are stepping into the spotlight. Jada, initially just a flirtatious detective, could be the one to expose Stephanie's identity and tip the scales of public opinion. Leo, ever the chaos agent, holds Johnny's fate in his jury seat. And there's no telling which way he'll lean. Meanwhile, Philip, despite forging a will, is being positioned as a sympathetic figure, especially when contrasted with Xander's brutish behavior. Every character is playing a game, some for love, others for power, and a few just for the thrill of watching it all burn. Final thoughts. What's next in Salem? With courtroom fireworks, literary secrets, and corporate betrayals, this episode of Days of Our Lives proves that nothing in Salem stays hidden for long. As loyalties are tested and truths come to light, fans can expect even more explosive confrontations in the days ahead. Will Stephanie's secret be outed? Can Johnny escape his family's twisted legal circus? And will Kate and Philip's forged fortune hold up under scrutiny? Stay tuned. Because in Salem, every smile hides a lie, and every reunion carries the threat of betrayal. Thank you for joining us today on the Days of Our Lives channel. Don't forget to subscribe for more shocking updates, scandalous secrets, and all the drama you can handle from your favorite soap town. Until next time, keep your guard up because no one is ever truly innocent in Salem. Next, a whirlwind of intrigue in Salem. Days of Our Lives recap a sparkling encounter in Horton Town Square in the heart of Salem's vibrant Horton Town Square. Julie Williams dazzled onlookers as she proudly displayed a stunning sapphire necklace, its deep blue gem catching the sunlight in a mesmerizing dance of light. The necklace, a cherished heirloom passed down through generations of the Williams family, drew the curious gaze of Gwen Rizek, who was sipping coffee at a nearby cafe. Their conversation, light and cheerful at first, took a poignant turn when Julie revealed the necklace's history. Gifted to her by her late grandmother, it symbolized resilience through turbulent times. As Gwen listened, her own thoughts drifted to her complicated past, hinting at a newfound empathy between the two women. The square itself buzzed with its usual eclectic energy. Vendors hawking fresh flowers, children darting through the cobblestone paths, and the scent of freshly baked pastries wafting from the nearby bakery. Amid this lively scene, Julie's attention was drawn to a weathered for sale sign hanging in the window of the beloved Horton Town Square bookstore. The discovery struck a chord. The bookstore had been a sanctuary for Julie, a place where she'd spent countless afternoons lost in novels and sharing stories with her grandchildren. Foster, the bookstore's kindly owner, approached Julie with a warm but wistful smile, explaining his decision to sell. He spoke of his longing to relocate to California, where his grown children had settled, their lives blossoming with new families. Julie's heart sank at the thought of losing this literary haven, but a spark of determination flickered in her eyes. Could this be an opportunity to preserve a piece of Salem's soul? A fragile bond amidst shared sorrow. Meanwhile, across town, Dr. Marlena Evans found herself grappling with a disquieting unease that refused to loosen its grip. The weight of her husband John's grief, compounded by the looming trial of their grandson Johnny, pressed heavily on her heart. but it was the vivid, unsettling dreams that plagued her nights that truly shook her resolve. In these nocturnal visions, Marlena found herself cloaked in darkness, standing beneath a starless sky as the ghostly voice of Stefano di Mera whispered, naming her his Queen of the Night. The title, steeped in the sinister history of Stefano's machinations, sent chills down her spine, evoking memories of battles fought against his malevolent influence. Determined to confront her fears, Marlena sought solace at Salem University Hospital, where she confided in her trusted friend and colleague, Dr. Kayla Johnson. The hospital's sterile corridors, usually a place of clarity for Marlena, seemed to close in as she described her dreams. Kayla, ever the pragmatist, suggested they were merely manifestations of stress, perhaps triggered by the emotional strain of recent events. Yet Marlena, with her deep understanding of the mind and soul, couldn't dismiss the possibility of a more profound, spiritual disturbance. The specter of Stefano's past manipulations loomed large, and Marlena's intuition warned her that these dreams might signal a threat not just to her peace, but to her very essence. Their conversation, marked by Kayla's gentle reassurance and Marlena's quiet resolve, underscored a bond forged through years of shared triumphs and tragedies. Marlena's openness about her struggles was a testament to her strength. Rather than retreating into isolation, she reached out, sharing her fears with John and her closest confidants. She even scheduled a consultation with a specialist in dream analysis, hoping to unravel the cryptic messages her subconscious seemed desperate to convey. As she navigated this personal storm, Marlena's vulnerability became a beacon, illuminating the power of seeking help in the face of uncertainty. A lesson that resonated deeply in the tight-knit community of Salem. A strategic alliance takes shape in a dimly lit corner of the Di Mera mansion. Gabby Hernandez and Tony Di Mera huddled over a polished mahogany table, their voices low and conspiratorial. Their alliance, born from a shared desire to restore the Di Mera empire to its former glory, crackled with ambition. Gabby, with her razor-sharp business acumen, was resolute in her role as CEO, determined to steer the company through turbulent waters. Tony, ever the strategist, saw in Gabby a fierce ally capable of outmaneuvering their rivals. Their latest target? The Kyriakis brothers, Xander and Philip, whose once unbreakable bond had begun to fray under the weight of corporate power struggles. The brothers' discord was no secret in Salem's elite circles. Xander, played with brooding intensity by Paul Telfer, and Philip, portrayed with nuanced complexity by Jean-Paul Lavoisier, had been united in their takeover of key business ventures. But whispers of betrayal and clashing egos had begun to circulate, creating a rift that Gabby and Tony were eager to exploit. Their plan was audacious. Use the brothers' internal strife to destabilize the Kyriakis' empire, paving the way for Di Mera's resurgence. To execute this, Gabby turned to Black Patch, the private investigation firm led by the seasoned Steve Johnson. Gabby's meeting with Steve was charged with urgency. She laid out her request to uncover the root of Xander and Philip's latest feud, a task she believed would reveal vulnerabilities to exploit. Steve, with his weathered charm and keen instincts, hesitated. His personal ties to the Kyriakis family, particularly through his daughter Stephanie, posed a conflict. Stephanie, a rising star in Salem's social scene, seemed to know every detail of the brothers' falling out. Her insights gleaned from late-night conversations and overheard arguments. After a moment of reflection, Steve's professional resolve won out. He assured Gabby that Black Patch would take the case, his steely gaze promising results. The investigation, he noted, might be one of their simplest yet, given Stephanie's insider knowledge. A fact that added a layer of intrigue to an already tangled web. The bookstore's uncertain future back in Horton Town Square, the fate of the bookstore continued to weigh on Julie's mind. The shop, with its creaking wooden floors and shelves brimming with dog-eared paperbacks, was more than a business. It was a cornerstone of Salem's cultural identity. Julie envisioned a future where the bookstore thrived under new ownership, perhaps as a community hub hosting poetry readings, book clubs, and signings for local authors like Stephanie, whose upcoming novel was generating buzz across town. The idea of purchasing the bookstore herself flickered in Julie's thoughts, a project that could channel her energy and preserve a legacy for future generations. Foster's decision to sell was bittersweet. He spoke fondly of the bookstore's history, decades of serving Salem's readers, from students cramming for exams to retirees seeking solace in classic literature. His move to California was driven by a desire to be near his grandchildren, whose laughter he missed dearly. Julie, ever the optimist, began to brainstorm ways to keep the bookstore alive. Could she rally the community to invest in its future? Or perhaps a partnership with Stephanie, whose literary ambitions aligned with the shop's mission, could breathe new life into the space. As Julie pondered these possibilities, the square hummed with potential, a reminder that in Salem, every ending held the promise of a new beginning.